Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Maurice Dubois. President Trump is expected to announce major new tariffs on the products we buy from other countries. There we have a live look now at the Rose Garden, the president approaching. White House says that tariffs will take effect soon. The plan is, in addition to tariffs already in effect, including 25% tariff on all imported steel and aluminum, as well as a 20% tax on all Chinese imports.
Jamaicans, brace yourselves. Your favorite Jamaican products, coffee, rum, even seafood, just got more expensive overnight. The United States has just dropped a massive economic bombshell on Jamaica's exports. President Donald Trump has slapped a 10% tariff on all goods coming from Jamaica into the US, and it's about to shake up the island's economy in ways we haven't seen before.
The podium there, the crowd is cheering him, and let's listen in.
Thank you. Nice crowd. What a good-looking group of people. Well, we have some very, very good news today, and a lot of good things are happening for our country. Please sit down. My fellow Americans, this is Liberation Day. Waiting for a long time. April 2nd, 2025 will forever be remembered as the day American industry was reborn, the day America's destiny was reclaimed, and the day that we began to make America wealthy again. We're going to make it wealthy, good and wealthy. For decades, our country has been looted, pillaged, raped, and plundered by nations near and far, both friend and foe alike. American steel workers, auto workers, farmers, and skilled craftsmen, we have a lot of them here with us today. They really suffered gravely. They watched in anguish as foreign leaders have stolen our jobs, foreign cheaters have ransacked our factories, and foreign scavengers have torn apart our once beautiful American dream. We had an American dream that you don't hear so much about. You did 4 years ago, and you are now, but you don't too often, and for many years and decades even, you didn't hear too much about. Our country and its taxpayers have been ripped off for more than 50 years, but it is not going to happen anymore. It's not going to happen. In a few moments, I will sign a historic executive order instituting reciprocal tariffs on countries throughout the world. Reciprocal. That means they do it to us and we do it to them.
Imagine this. You're a Jamaican entrepreneur, working hard to export your products overseas, trying to build generational wealth, only to be blindsided by new tariffs that could cripple your business. Farmers, manufacturers, and small business owners are now staring down the barrel of higher costs and a tougher fight in the American market. So what's really happening? On Wednesday, Trump made a shocking move, imposing new tariffs on imports to the US from 180 countries, including Jamaica and many other Caribbean nations. The White House claims this is a reciprocal measure, saying that because Jamaica imposes a 10% tariff on American goods, something that has been in place for years to protect local industries, the US is simply returning the favor. And guess what? Jamaica isn't alone. Caribbean neighbors like Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, and St. Kitts Nevis are also feeling the heat.
But we will charge them approximately half of what they are and have been charging us. So the tariffs will be not a full reciprocal. I could have done that, yes, but it would have been tough for a lot of countries who didn't want to do that. I'd like to see the chart if you have it. Could you bring it up, Howard? This is our great Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick. Thanks, Howard. So if you look at that, China, first row, China, 67%. That's tariffs charged to the USA, including currency manipulation and trade barriers. So 67%, I think you can, for the most part, see it. Those with good eyes, with bad eyes. We didn't want to bring, it's very windy out here. We didn't want to bring out the big charts because it had no chance of standing.
But here's the kicker. While Jamaica and the Caribbean face 10% tariffs, Trump has gone nuclear on other countries. 34% on China, 20% on the European Union, and 24% on Japan.
Fortunately, we came armed with a little smaller chart. So it's 67%, so we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%. I think, in other words, they charge us, we charge them less. So how can anybody be upset? They will be, because we never charge anybody anything, but now we're going to charge. European Union, they're very tough, very, very tough traders. You know, you think of European Union, very friendly. They rip us off. It's so sad to see. It's so pathetic. 39%, we're going to charge them 20%, so we're charging them essentially half. Vietnam, great negotiators, great people. They like me, I like them. The problem is they charge us 90%. We're going to charge them 46% tariff.
Trump's words, building controversy. Standing in the White House Rose Garden, with American flags behind him, Trump declared this moment Liberation Day. His words? For decades, our country has been looted, pillaged, raped and plundered by nations near and far, both friend and foe alike.
Americans, this is Liberation Day. Waiting for a long time. For decades, our country has been looted, pillaged, raped, and plundered by nations near and far, both friend and foe alike.
Let that sink in. Jamaica is now being lumped in with nations that Trump claims have pillaged America. But that's not all. Before announcing the tariffs, Trump made sure to throw in another shot, saying, even tiny countries like Jamaica, that we've given so much to, take advantage of us.
Are allowed to go into other countries, and I say that friend and foe, and in many cases the friend is worse than the foe in terms of trade. But such horrendous imbalances have devastated our industrial base and put our national security at risk. I don't blame these other countries at all for this calamity. I blame former presidents and past leaders who weren't doing their job. They let it happen, and they let it happen to an extent that nobody can even believe.
Impact. Why Jamaica is in trouble. So how does this affect Jamaica? First, this tariff hike means higher prices for Jamaican exports in the US, making our goods less competitive. That could lead to a drop in sales and hurt industries like coffee, rum, seafood, and bauxite, some of the biggest exports we send to America. And let's not forget the Jamaican diaspora in the US, who rely on imported goods from home. Higher costs mean Jamaican families overseas will have to pay more just to enjoy a taste of their culture, whether it's Blue Mountain coffee, Appleton rum, or fresh Jamaican fruits.
Welcome back to America Decides. In the Rose Garden, President Trump unveiled the new tariffs for his administration, doing so despite warnings from economists that this could raise prices across the United States for all sorts of goods.
How should Jamaica respond? So what's next? Should Jamaica fight back and slap America with even higher tariffs? Should we look toward China and BRICS nations to reduce our reliance on the US? And what does this mean for Jamaica's future trade policies? Will our leaders push back, or will they silently accept these new economic chains? Jamaicans, it's time to speak out. Drop a comment below. Should Jamaica retaliate? Or is this just business as usual? And if you want to stay informed on how these global decisions affect our island, hit that subscribe button now. Let's get this video to 1,000 likes so more Jamaicans worldwide can hear the truth. The world is changing fast, and Jamaica is right in the middle of the storm. If we don't wake up and take control of our economic future, we'll always be at the mercy of superpowers playing their own game. Drop a comment, share this video, and stay tuned for more updates.
Uncertainty.
And Courtney, he's doing this by declaring a national emergency, which gives him, under this law, power to do this. But Congress isn't involved. And is there truly an emergency? Well, the president's declared one, which gives him some room, which also shields him and his administration from potential lawsuits filed by those affected by these higher tariffs.
Senior White House officials said that this was an economic emergency because of high trade deficits. High trade deficits represent a national and economic threat, is what the White House says. I think that the threat is less about the high trade deficits themselves and more about the steps that the administration is taking in an attempt to address those high trade deficits. I loved your point about higher manufacturing productivity because you're so right. The manufacturing sector looks so much better than it did decades ago because of everything you say. I spoke to a small manufacturing, though, based in South Florida, who said that because of these tariffs, they're actually not investing in AI anymore. So it's kind of funny to watch all of these things intersect because they're having to put aside more cash to deal with tariffs. They're not going to be training their workers to become the next manufacturing facility of the 21st century. So.
And there's a kind of approach that the president has, saying globalists or naysayers are going to say this and that. It isn't to be a naysayer to say the global economy, the U.S. economy, is not as it was in 1890. That's just a fact. And the interconnectedness of the movement of goods and services across sovereign country lines and the tariffs you apply affect things that people buy now.